Hello guys, what's up? I'm engineer AK, and in today's video we are going to learn how we can find the resultant of force and the angle of resultant force using scientific calculator, right? So in this video first we will do manually that what will be the resultant force and the angle, and after that I will show you through scientific calculator that how you can easily find the resultant force and the angle of resultant force using scientific calculator, right? So let's get started. So here we have three forces, right? And these forces are concurrent and coplanar. These are concurrent because they are meeting at same point, right? And these are coplanar because they all are in same xy plane, right? So if I take the first force that is having a magnitude of 44 Newton, and it is making an angle of 28 degree with positive x-axis, right? So if I made its components, so it will be having two components, right? One component in y direction, right? Let me change its color so you will easily this black one, right? And the another component will be with on x-axis, mean its x component, right? So these are the two component. And same if I draw it for the B that has a magnitude of 26.5 Newton, right? And it is making an angle of 56 degree with negative x-axis, right? So if I make a component of this force B, so it will be its y component, and one component will be with, it will be having one component in x direction, right? And if I am talking about this, so it has just one y component, right? It has no x component. So now I hope you understand this diagram. Now let's find the force for find the component of A, like the component of these forces, right? So if I plug in these values, so we know that for x-axis we have a cos of theta, right? So ax is equal to 44 cos of 28 degree because it has a magnitude of 44 and it is making an angle of 28 degree, right? So by plugging in values, let me plug in 44 cos of 28, so it is giving me 28.84, or if I round off it to two decimal places, so it becomes 38.85, right? So 38.85 Newton, right? And if I do it for the y component, so we know that a y component is equal to a sine of theta, so 44 sine 28, so 44 sine 28, here we go, so it becomes 20.66, right? So 20.66 Newton, right? And if we can also find these two components directly, right? How you can do that? You press shift, or first you go to mode and convert this mode to complex mode, right? So by clicking to it, it is now complex mode is activated. So here you can plug in the magnitude, then here you see the angle sign. So activate this angle sign, you have to press the shift because these brown commands activated through shift key. So shift and this angle, and if I put the angle 28, here we go, so 38.85, right here, 38.85. And for the next y component 20.66, right? So 20.66. so this through this you can also directly find the component of this force, right? Now let me clear it. Okay, now if we talk about this B, so it has two component, but I am taking this angle, like I am taking for this force, I am taking its angle with positive x-axis, right? So for with positive x-axis it become a 180 minus 56 degree, right? So I will get this I will get this angle, right? So to find the x component of the B force, right? So to find the x component of the V force, so B cos of theta, B is 26.5 and cos 180 minus 56 degree. As I told you, I am taking this angle, the angle that B is making with positive x-axis. So let me plug in the values, so I can get 26.5 cos of 180 minus 56, right? So I'm getting minus 14.82, right? So minus 14.82 Newton, right? And if I am taking the y component, so I have to just change or plug in, okay, 26.5 sine of 180 minus 56, right? So 21.97, 21.97, right? So we have find this. And now for same for the C, so C is making 270. If I see this, so it is making this, oops, so if we talk about this, so it is making this angle, right? 270 with positive x-axis. So if I plug in this, so as we know there is no x component, right? But if you still want to plug in the value, so you will get 0. And let's see, 31, right? It has magnitude of 31 and cos of 270, right? So we get 0 because it has no x component, that's why we are getting 0, right? So 0 Newton. And if we get the y component, so here I will get 31 multiplied by sine 270, right? So here we get minus 31, right? So minus 31 Newton. Now we have find it the x and the y component of all these forces. Now if I want to find f of x, so we can sum up all these values. So for ax we have 38.85 plus for okay, sorry, minus, right? So here's plus and here's minus sign, so plus minus become minus, so it become minus 14.82, right? And plus 0, right? And for y component we have these forces, right? These are the y components of all these forces. So let me sum up these. So 20.66 plus, then for by we have 21.97 plus for this I have minus 31, right? Okay, so let's see, equals sign, let me put it equal sign. So here I get 20, and so we get here 24.03 Newton for the x component f of x, I can denote these all sum of the all x component of the forces as f of x, and the y component f of y, and the y component I get as 11.63 Newton. Let verify this through calculator, right? So the y component 38.85 minus 14.82, right? So we get yes, 24.03, right? And for the y component 20.66 plus 21.97 minus 31, right? So here we get 11.63. Yes, we are getting right. So now we know we have this f of x, right? The x component and the y component. So for finding the resultant, we can take the square of the x and y component, right? And under the root. So 24.03, and I have to take square of it, right? And then plus 11.63 whole square, right? So it will give us the magnitude of the resultant. So let's check this through calculator. So under the root 24.03 whole square plus 11.63 whole square, right? So here we get 26.69, right? 26.69 Newton, 26.69 Newton, right? And if for finding the angle, so we know that theta is equal to tan inverse f of x, f of y, or f of x, right? So if I plug in the values, so f of y, I know that f of y is equal to 11.63, and if I get the x component, that is 24.03, right? So now plug in these values into the calculator, right? So tan inverse 11.63 divided by 24.03, right? So we are getting 25.82 degree, right? So 25.82, and it's in degree, so right. Okay, so finally we have find the resultant force magnitude, that is 26.69 Newton, and the angle that is making the angle that resultant force is making with positive x-axis is 25.82 degree. Now we will find this force, resultant force magnitude, and this angle through scientific calculator, right? Like we have did a long procedure, and now I will show you that how we can directly find this within the seconds, right? So what you have to do, that first you have to wait, okay, here. So what you have to do, first you have to turn on the complex mode. So first click the mode and then select the second option, complex mode, right? So now you can here see that complex mode is activated, and this is the FX570, the model, right? Now what you have to do, that put all the force along with its angle with positive x-axis, right? The angles that are the force is making with positive x-axis, right? So for the first A, it has magnitude 44, then you will activate this bound options by pressing shift. If I press shift and then this angle sign, then put the angle that is this component is making with positive x-axis, so it is 28. Then you have to sum now the second component, right? So it is 26.5, shift, and the angle that it is making is 180. I told you that take the angle that is this component, this force is making with positive x-axis, so it is making 180 minus 56, right? Then plus this has a magnitude of 31, right? And it is making an angle of 270 that I have draw here, 270 with positive x-axis, so angle 270, right? So this is the forces that I have that we find, and we have also found these forces before. Let me show you here. Here you can see that the f of x is 24.03. here you can see 24.03, and the f of y is 11.62, right? 11.62, or you can round off it to 2 decimal places, so it become 11.63, right? So after that, what you have to do, then you have to again press the shift button, and then you have to do you are doing some operation in complex mode, so press 2, right? Here a complex mode is written, so press 2. Then we are doing this, right? You have to select this third option. So here we go. So this is the magnitude of the force, 26.69, and this is the angle that is making it that this force, resultant force, is making with positive x-axis. Let me show you. Yes, here we, so the magnitude of 26.69, and here we can see 26.69, and the angle is 25.81, or you can round off it to 2 decimal places, so it becomes 25.82 degree, right? So this is the way that how you can easily find the resultant of the forces, different forces, right? And the angle of that resultant force using scientific calculator. So hope you enjoy this video, and see you in next video. Thanks.